So we're out here and finishing up a little bit of the work on the toilet and trying to just keep the ground clear while we prepare to build the shop and the home and everything. And so decided to sit down and take a minute and just share again kind of the vision for this. It's hard to see right now with everything being so empty, but that soon will change. Just show you this is a family project. That's Jaden, my younger daughter, out there filling in the hole where they started with that first toilet, because that's now going to be the site of the new water tanks. But just wanted to show you, it's not just, we all work together. It's not just me and the locals. We all work together. She wanted to come with me. She got up at 4 o'clock this morning to drive out here from Joburg with me so she could fill in a hole. It's pretty special to me. Why we're doing this is just there's so many people in this area. We were able to come to this area 2019 for the first time, and we met some pastors, we met some leaders, we met some different people from the community, and we did some agriculture work, we did some training work with them, and then from there we made some friendships and have continued to come with agriculture and the pastoral leadership training at various times, and those friendships have just grown. But also what's grown in us is a desire to see this area, this location, this little corner of South Africa really effectively reached with the gospel. Now there's a lot of churches here in South Africa. There's a few different groups that are deemed Christian, but they don't even acknowledge Jesus. They don't even acknowledge the existence of Christ. They've removed him from their teachings. They've removed him from their word. They still operate under the banner of Christian. And so a lot of those religious groups, one of the big ones, is operational here in this section of Limpopo. And so to have a place here where we can take people from the villages, we can teach the gospel, we can teach them the truth of the gospel, and then send them back into those villages to be peer missionaries, to work with the people that speak the same language that they do, to go back into their villages and be a light in the darkness, to be able to go back and to speak to their friends and their people they work with and the people they play soccer with and everything, and to see the gospel just spread into these villages. That's what this place is for. That's what we're doing this for. It's not for our family. It's not for us at all. It's not anything for our glory. It's because God placed a burden on our hearts for this area, and he has shown his plan in bringing us here. A couple of years ago, as part of gospel outreach, we said that God didn't want us, and I'm just talking about us right now, didn't want us to plant a church. He wanted us to plant training centers where we could train hundreds of church planters to go out and plant churches. Instead of planting one church, we plant one training center and send out many workers to plant churches and to plant cell groups and to plant discipleship works and street evangelists and village evangelists and everything else. And that's what God really put a burden on our heart for. And then also just this specific area, and to see how God opened the door for it, to say now it's time to go out there, and how he's brought people out here. It's just an amazing thing to see what God has done. And we look forward to more of what God is going to do. But that's the thing that pushes us to pull out these trees and to do the hard work, and for my daughter to sit out here and fill in a hole for a water tank, to leave the creature comforts of first world Johannesburg and to move out here to third world village life and not have electricity or running water, have to use a long drop for a toilet versus having multiple toilets there in the hallway where our bedrooms were and everything. That's what motivates us to do that. is to know that God is making a huge impact in his kingdom through this, that God is going to draw people to himself, that he is going to just in a mighty way, he's going to send people out into the field for the harvest that we know is drawing to an end. Is drawing every day gets closer to the end when Jesus will come back on the clouds, and we'll have no more opportunity to evangelize. One of the things that I was listening to a pastor and he was preaching a sermon, and one of the things that he said that really stuck with me, he said, you know, Christians don't need a bucket list, because everything that we could ever do on this earth that we think is good, everything that we could ever experience that we think is good, heaven is going to be so much more. But there's one thing that we can do here on earth that we won't be able to do in heaven, and that's tell people about Jesus. And so that just really stuck with me, that's what he's brought us here for. That's what he's given us a burden to do, is tell people about Jesus and teach them how to tell others about Jesus. And that's what this site is going to be. That's what this site is going to be dedicated to. It's not going to be a place of just fun and fellowship. It's going to be a place of training up disciples and sending them out as missionaries back into their villages, back into their homes, back into their communities, back into their schools, back into their workplace, back into whatever God has called them to be a minister and a voice for the gospel, and to bring more people into the kingdom in this valley that we have been called into. So it's just wanted to share that as had a moment to sit here for a second and cool down, and go back over there and keep filling that hole in, give Jaden a bit of a break and go fill in that hole with her. But just really felt like that was something we needed to share.